Yay! Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. It is Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. Hi, no Saint. How are you? Let's catch the people up. Some people still don't know that the block is back. Okay, we are back once a week every Friday. We're trying to go on at a time that's convenient for y'all. We know it's still summertime. We know you still in the streets. Okay, y'all still in the streets. So I went later. I went on later today to accommodate some of y'all. So hopefully, if you're watching the replay, hit that like and subscribe. If you're here early, hey baby, we missed you. And let the people know that you used to watch with that we are back. No Saint, how are you? How was your week?
Really good. I had a really good week this week. I can't complain. Learned how to cook some new meals. That's always a good thing. Work was fine. No, it was a good week. I'll say it was a really good week.
How is your love life? How's your love life?
It's interesting. It's interesting. So for you guys who haven't been, well, I never did really ever announce that last time we were on the air, so I'm no longer married. But it's all good. Oh yeah, all good, all good. It wasn't a horrible breakup, I should say. It's got its challenges, but yeah. So I've been out there. I've been on the market. Been throwing myself out there a little bit. It's been interesting. I'll say that.
Does it feel good to be divorced? Do you have that feeling of emancipation? Do you feel free from something like men usually talk about?
Well, that was the hardest thing, and I'm gonna full disclosure. Well, in the beginning of the year, Jen and I have continued to talk through the hiatus of the show since the last time it ended, and so the beginning of this year, we said this is going to be the year, and I kind of had to finally make that step to get through this. And what I did go to therapy, and I love therapy. Therapy's awesome. And it didn't take long for it to fix my mind to say, yeah, I need to move on. I need to cut my losses. I need to see what's after life after this, after you take the hits financially and all those things, And so, yeah, definitely. It's definitely like finally, I'm free, kind of free, sort of free, not 100% free when you have kids, but it's finally like, okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on here. And it's been great. It's fine. Once I got over the hump and started heading that way, yeah, it's been good.
All right, guys, so we're still having a little bit of audio issues. I have to remember to mute myself when the guests are talking. So you guys can remind me on the screen. Also, I put a little can of Pepsi in the freezer. I don't want it to turn to ice, so remind me in about 25 minutes, 25 minutes, remind me, Jen, get the Pepsi out the freezer. Do that favor for me because I get to talking and cooking up here and I completely forget. So yeah, so just remind me about that. No Saint, we spoke about the audio. So tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen, okay, we're going to talk a little bit about Diddy and Cassie, not about the trial and all of that. We're going to talk about the dynamics of their relationship, and did they have more fun than you guys? Did they have more fun? I'm going to give a disclaimer early in the beginning, and maybe I'll give it throughout, because there's something that you guys are not going to be able to understand, okay, about the Diddy, Cassie swinging situation and what we're talking about tonight. I'm really asking, do cucks have more fun? Diddy has now become the most famous cuck that we know. It used to be some naughty thing, reserved for those weird white people. What white guy would want to see a big dick black guy smash his wife? Remember that? Remember when it was the no saints of the world that used to want to see their wives smashed by a big black mandingo? And it turns out the biggest mandingo we'll ever know in our generation is none other than Sean Diddy Combs now, right? And he did it good, okay? He's flying dudes to and fro, in and out. He's letting Cassie pick to and fro. Cassie's picking and hanging out with these guys. But it was a really, really fruitful, swinging relationship they had. And Diddy was a cuck. He liked to watch his girl get smashed. Right? Now, the disclaimer. I do realize before we continue that this conversation is going to be chock full of people watching that are indoctrinated by religion, by shaming, by misogyny, right? I know all that's going to happen as soon as you hear that a woman wants to be with more than one man. Oh my God, the whores have arrived, right? So just for tonight, I want you to suspend your disbelief. Just for tonight. Just for tonight. And imagine a world where there's no such thing as religion or tradition or indoctrination or a place where women get shamed for wanting the same amount of sex as men get, right? Or having the same fantasies that men have. It's just for tonight. Just for tonight, let's put that aside, because when you put that aside, you learn a lot, fellas. You get to learn what women are really thinking. So I'm going to expose some women tonight, and it's going to be to your benefit, right? And I know it makes you cringe when you hear what women really like, but you know what I mean? The truth is the truth. You know, a lot of women now, they're not caring that you shame them or whatever. And men have a tendency to shame women, to shut them down, because men are very afraid of the idea of their woman or women wanting more than one penis. It's like throwing acid on y'all. Like, how dare you? How dare you insinuate she wants more than my phallus? I have the best phallus on the planet. You know, that's what you guys do. It's a very uncomfortable situation and conversation for you. So what you do is you try to shut women down, slut shame them, whole shame them, sex shame them. We're going to talk about a little bit what a threesome is and what a train is. You guys are also confused about a menage a trois and what a train is, right? So we're going to get into that a little bit. But I want to use the foundation of Diddy and Cassie's relationship, because there's a lot of layers there to unpack. Forget the domestic violence for a minute. There's a lot of layers to unpack, how they ran their relationship for a decade, right? And how many people were involved and why. Okay, so we're going to get into that. No, Saint, what do you think when you think of cuck? It's kind of morphed into something else. Now they use it in politics. It's not just cuckold, like some guy that wants, you know, his woman smashed by another man. Now they even use it in politics. I told you guys before, language morphs into different things, right? So what do you think about that before we get into it? And tell me what you think. Again, I want you to suspend the whole domestic violence, the whole video of him beating her down in the hotel hallway. Let's just concentrate tonight on the cucking, the king cuck Diddy. Let's talk about that a little bit, the swinging relationship, and how that dynamic was very, very entertaining for both of them. If you guys heard any other trial and you've heard of, you know, Cassie reading her own text messages, she very much enjoyed the freak-offs to the point where she was picking the guys and telling the guys, you know what I mean, who she felt comfortable with and didn't feel comfortable with. And, you know, she was helping, you know, the male escorts also. She was directing them as Diddy was directing and watching and beating off with his mask on. What do you think a cuck is, No Saint? And what do you think about it in terms of the Diddy-Cassie relationship? Let me mute here so there's no echo.
Yeah, well, the traditional term is what I normally think it is. You know, it's fascinating to me. It's really fascinating. There's so much more to it than him wanting to watch, or a cuck wanting to watch their woman have sex with another guy. It's interesting because it's psychological. There's something that, you know, something that, first of all, you get over you're over the thing of it's a woman's a piece of property, right? Because now you're offering the woman to other people to share. So I think a lot of men, that when you talk about women, when they think women are getting more dicks and everything like that, it's almost a territorial thing, and they, you know, that's mine, and now, you know, how dare you, you're sharing yourself. But a cuck doesn't have that. A cuck actually enjoys seeing other people be with his woman. So he gets something out of it as well, whatever it is in his mind that it turns him on, right? Because nobody does anything unless they're getting something out of it. And as far as Diddy, that's wild. I mean, I think some of that could be these stars. I don't know if we've ever said this on the block or not, but these stars have so many options, and they have it all the time, to where I think maybe they get desensitized to the vanilla, right? The vanilla sex. And so they just keep morphing into other things, and their mind keeps on going, well, I haven't tried that. Even things maybe you thought, you know, maybe maybe I'll never try that. And then suddenly you cross the line, and then, well, maybe I will try that, and maybe I'll try this, and maybe I'll try that. So yeah, I think some of that has to do with just Diddy, and any rock star, any famous person, they just they're so exposed to sex into whoever they want, that it's just mundane. And so they're looking for the next high they're going to get. That's what I think about him.
Okay, so speaking of Diddy and highs, we're not about to pretend, all you men watching, we are not about to pretend you didn't all want to be Diddy at one point. Now, I know it's now hashtag no Diddy, and they make fun of his sexuality, you know, saying he's gay and all kinds of things. But we didn't forget that you guys were also dancing around with the Ciroc bottle. You were wearing shades like Diddy and wanted to be like Diddy, and you big fans of Bad Boy. Yeah, he's a joke now, right? But there was a time when a lot of you looked up to him. He was the epitome of masculinity and hip hop, Bad Boy Records. He has beautiful baby mothers. He has a stable of beautiful baby mothers. So let's not pretend at one point in your lives, y'all didn't all, okay, was dancing like Diddy in the videos. We're not about to do that, okay? So the guy that a lot of you admired was hiring, facilitating different escorts from around the world, flying them in and out to smash Cassie, right? That is what happened. Now let's get a little bit into about exposing women, right? Let's get into it, because that's why you guys are here. You want to hear about what women think, right? And I'm going to tell you what women think. What's up, E Black? E Black says, I did not take that. What's up, bro? Again, if anybody hit that like and subscribe for me. If anybody wants to come up, it is the StreamYard is linked to the top. I also dropped it right there if you want to come up. What's up, Walter POP? How are you? They love your jellyfish. They feeling your jellyfish. Fahim Jackson says he still admires Diddy's business. And I respect that, right? There's a lot of celebrities where you're like, oh, I wouldn't want to drink after you, but I respect your business. You know what I mean? You're business savvy. So let's talk a little bit about that. Recently, a woman went viral because she said that all women want trains ran on them. All women want trains ran on them. And the crowd went wild, right? And it's very simple and easy to dismiss a woman's fantasies by just calling her a whore. It's like, oh, you're a whore. Or you want what? You're a whore. Right? That's what men do. Because again, men are not comfortable with women having fantasies, especially a fantasy, right, that they can't fulfill, right? Diddy was like, oh, I'm fulfilling all these fantasies. All of them. Hers and mine. And they did it for a decade. Diddy had more fun than you and your vanilla sex and your wife and your girlfriend. Could you handle your woman's fantasies? Could you handle it? I'm gonna talk a little bit. I'm gonna go a little personal about my life and someone who handled all my fantasies, honey. Okay, so you definitely gonna get an earful tonight. I'm gonna take it personal tonight. Give you a couple secrets of my sex life. Right? That's gonna be interesting. But could you handle the fantasies that your woman has? We've discussed here on the block before, My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday, which is a book this thick about women, you know what I mean, unadulterated, not watched, no rules, and it's full, chock full of women just talking about every fantasy they have without the, you know, the burden on their shoulder of tradition, religion, slut shaming, hoe shaming. They're saying everything that they ever fantasized about, right? So if you're interested in that, yeah, it's called My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday. Interesting book, interesting. So could you handle it? So let's get into a little bit about the woman that said every woman wants a train ran on them. This is what we're dealing with tonight, guys, okay? We're dealing with men who cannot, okay, swallow, pun intended, a woman wanting more than one penis. We're dealing with that. Men are like, any woman that wants that is a whore. We're dealing with that. We're dealing with the religious, right? Oh my God, no, Jesus said, and Jesus, we're dealing with that, right? So there are a lot of layers. We're dealing with pick-me's tonight. Pick-me's are going to watch this and be like, because they want to be in a man's good favor. They're going to say, I don't want that. I don't want that. I only want you, right? And then they're divorcing you at 80% rate. Okay, women are divorcing you because you're fucking boring. You're sitting and yelling at the TV watching football. All right, so you can't listen to women. Women are looking for favor. Women are looking for rings, right? So they're gonna say what they think a man wants to hear. And then there's the small percentage, and I say very, very small. We're dealing with a small percentage of women that are like, no, I see myself just me and my man for the rest of our lives, and they're sincere. There is a small percentage of women that are like, it's just me and one penis for the rest of my life, and I can't see past this man's penis. They are out there, but I am telling you, the percentage is small. Fuck what you heard. The percentage is small. The rest of the percentage are the people that I mentioned, the women that I mentioned, right? But usually that lady, the one, I don't want to see anybody but you. Usually that lady ends up with a guy that it's like, you're a great wife, you're a great mother, but I want to fuck her because she's a lot sexier, okay? She's going to give me head on tap. She's going to lick the nuts at the same time. I want to be with her. But you're a great mom and a great wife, but I want to be with her, right? So it's always uneven some way, somehow, right? So the woman that went viral for saying, all women want a trained man, what happened with her is that she said it too broad, right? But the number one fantasies of women are a menage a trois, not with another woman, with two men, right? And then the grape fantasies, because women like it rough, right? Which is something else you guys are afraid of, but that's another subject, right? So women, number one fantasies, whether you like it or not, guys, is sex with multiple men or being forced, right? Now, that's a touchy subject, so let's stay off of that and just stick with the multiple partners, right? So a menage a trois, for you amateurs, is 3 people, right? 3 people enjoying each other. 3 people enjoying each other, right? You guys can imagine that very well when it's 2 women and you guys in the middle. You can imagine it very well. You're going to enjoy her. You're going to enjoy her. They're going to enjoy you at the same time, right? But when we flip it and it's a woman and 2 men, that's a train. That's a train, Jen. More than one man, it's a train. It's a train, Jen. It's a train. Menage a trois is 3 people enjoying each other, right? A train of any sort, more than one man, is them using the woman as a tool, as a beat-off tool, okay? She's just there, okay? And they're using her as a beat-off tool. One guy after the other, whether it's 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, or whatever. That's a train where she's just laying there and she's being used and nothing else is going on. But a menage a trois, a woman with 2 men, they're all enjoying each other. They're all enjoying each other, right? They're not using her as a tool. She's using him. She's using him. He's using her. He's using her. Sometimes if they go that way, the guys are using each other. But that's a threesome. That's a menage a trois. But you guys can't. That doesn't register with you. More than one guy, it's a train. No, it's not a train. All right? You can Google it. You can Google it as well. So if your woman told you her fantasies, could you handle it? Is your woman hiding her fantasies from you? Now I'm going to get into, because I know you guys are nosy, my private affairs with a particular gentleman, right? Who I was able to do all my fantasies with. But before I continue, I know you heard something that you want to respond to while I check out the chat.
Well, yeah. We listen. I always say with all these things, I mean, if you can go on your search engine and find it in porn, then it goes on, and a lot of people like it, or it wouldn't be there, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that women have these fantasies because women and men aren't really that different. Growing up, I was always thinking by watching all the talk, the different talk shows, whether it was Donahue, Oprah, Geraldo, whoever, and they would always seem to focus on the men, or Jerry Springer, whoever, but maybe not Jerry Springer, but they would always focus on the men being the ones cheating or the men's having all these things. They would never really. So I always, we're kind of brought up thinking that it's more of a man's thing. And women have always kind of had to be pushed down. Like, that's not proper for you to talk about. You're supposed to be the mother. You're supposed to be the wife. You're supposed to be, doing the housework, whatever, at one point back in the day. So they never had a chance. So it would always just be, they couldn't say it, but maybe they were still doing it on the side. And I'm sure they were. I'm sure old grandma had some business going on and probably none of us knew, got a little cold one winter. Grandpa's out milking the cow, mailman comes along, let's go ahead and get it done. But no, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that women have those fantasies, and it doesn't surprise me that women have the grape, as we like to say, grape fantasies, because I think we all have those kind of, that's kind of what makes it the more taboo. That's the whole thing. It's all taboo, right? It's all out of the norm, so it makes it more exciting, I guess, is the way to put it.
All right, guys. So E Black is reaching for the shots already. I know E Black is still married. Hopefully he still is. I know things change in a year. No Saint mentioned he's no longer married, but I'm sure E Black is still married. E Black, you married. How would you feel if your wife came to you and was like, "Hey, babe, we've been married for a long time, and I love you, but can I have two of you? Can I have two of you?" What would you say, E Black? What would you say? Would you crumble? Would you consider it? Would you be like, she done lost her rabbit ass mind? What would you do? Would you fulfill it if no one else knew? Remember now, we didn't know that Diddy was, you know what I mean, had a laundry list of men smashing his girlfriend. We didn't know that, okay? But it seems to me like they had a very enjoyable sex life. So let me say this to you guys, right? I think I told you this before, but I'm going to remind you. A woman will give you 110% of everything she is, right? If she thinks she can trust you with every fantasy and every thought that she has, right? If you can put away your, no, that's for whores. That thinking is for whores. If you can put that away and you let a woman know, hey, I don't judge women. Even if you do, idiot. Even if you do judge women, if you want to get the best out of a woman and all her little secrets and all her little fantasies, and you want her to really, really freak off on you, like really, really freak off on you, you got to do a Diddy. You got to make her think whatever fantasy you have, I can fulfill, I will fulfill, or I want to fulfill, or I want to hear about. And I don't judge women. I think women are human beings and they're sexual beings and they like it as much as we men like it. You know what I mean? And women will be like, they'll open up like a little flower, right? That just like this. You don't judge me? Well, let me tell you what I was wanting since you don't judge me. That's how women are. Because the thing is, if we don't tell you, we're going to tell our girlfriends. And you want to be a fly on the wall. You know how you guys all run around like, I wonder what women are really thinking about me. I wonder what they're really thinking about my stroke game. If you open her up, okay, and she trusts you, she is going to do this. And so are her legs. Okay, she's going to do this, right? But again, I'm dealing with the layers, the nuances of tradition, religion, slut shaming, whore shaming, all of that. So women, they close up. The flower goes like this, right? And then she gives you that vanilla shit. And then you out looking for another whole slut freak out in the streets, and you have that in your house. You have that in your house. No, Saint, before I get into my shit, okay? Were you in a relationship one time? You don't have to say who, what, when, and where. Were you in a relationship one time where a woman wanted you to fist her and you said no? Now you have to sit up here. I'm putting you in the hot seat. You have to say why you said no. You don't have to get into all the details. But why did you say no when a woman opened up to you and said, please put a fist in my ass?
Yeah. Okay, that's true. I don't think we're playing true or false, but no, that's true. The problem I had with it was that I was already too emotionally close to her. For me, it's a weird psychological thing, if I just meet somebody and they don't care about they're not like, oh, that's my man, or it's kind of still like, this is a guy I just met, or this is somebody, we're just hooking up or something, and they say to do something, it's a lot easier because she's dirty and she's, that Madonna whore thing, she's dirty and yeah, that's all. But if it's somebody that cares about me and anything, it's just, it makes it different. It just makes it like, I can't do that. It's gonna ruin the relationship. It's kind of weird, but that's how my mind works.
So your mind works like a lot of men's minds work, right? The Madonna whore complex. They can't see someone that they care about or someone they got feelings for, or vice versa, or an emotional attachment. They can't see her as that slutty, freaky, whatever. But here's the thing. There's a great possibility that she's that. There's a great possibility that the freak y'all looking for, the slut, she's in your house. She's in your house. She's on your arm. She's wearing a ring that you put on her finger. It's a great possibility. But you will never know. Her friends will know. And if her friends don't know, she'll know up here. Right? It's like the Titanic. A woman's heart is a deep, dark ocean of secrets. It's a lot you will never know. And it's because we get shamed. We get told, you hoe, you slut, you that. That is why. And the men that have the most fun, like Uncle Diddy, right? And when Drake says, I got strippers in my life, but they virgins to me. Right? Your wife. Right? Drake's girls, Diddy's girls. Right? So this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Okay? Gentlemen, don't fret. Don't fret. You may not have to have a mandingo in the room with you to satisfy your woman. Okay? Now I'm going to talk about my personal life. Okay? I was in a relationship one time. And let me tell you something. This man ever knocks on my door. Okay? I could be married. He getting it. He getting it. This is how thorough this lover was. Okay, he getting it. I can see him anywhere, anytime, any place. In China, at the equator. And he's like, hey, I was wondering. I'll be like, yeah, take it. And here is why. Because every fantasy I had, he fulfilled. And he did it without ever having another man in the motherfucking room. And I know y'all going to be like, how the hell did... Jen, how the hell did that happen? Because he's fucking smart. And he knew if it's on my mind, it's a little fire burning within. Right? And a smart man that says, I'm going to put out that fire. Fuck that. Somebody else going to do it. Those are smart lovers. Those are smart lovers. Those are smart people in relationships. No saint was like, I'm not putting a fist in you. I love you. And that's exactly why he should have put a fist in her. Because he loved her. This is the backward thinking of men. If a woman says, I need a foot in my ass, I don't care if she had 5 of your children, put your foot in her ass. Especially if she verbalized it, oh, that woman wants it. If she verbalized it, she wants that shit. So in my situation, okay, you nosy fuckers, the way he fulfilled my fantasy was very, very excellent at role playing. Okay, I'll give you one example. I wanted the fantasy of 2 men. I was like, man, if you had a twin, and it would be like 2 exactly of you, and I got my, and you're hitting here, right? That would be amazing. And that night, okay, role playing on 100, this man smashed me every which way but loose, acting like he was 2 different people. Now that's next level swag and skill. Are you willing to do that, or can your ego not take it? Oh my God, she wants to be with 2 men. She's a hoe. Am I losing my wife? Am I losing my girlfriend? Women want sex with more than 1 man. No, it's just my dick. I just want her to love my dick. That's where y'all automatically go, because you have so much on your mind and your shoulders of how women are supposed to be and supposed to act. And again, I am telling you, a large majority of women want what I and a lot of other women want. How many times have I said up here, 50 Shades of Grey is a $1 billion industry, not million, $1 billion industry. Christian Grey had balance. He'd throw her in a hot room, beat her ass, and then be a gentleman during the day. Now, a lot of you guys say, I want a freak in the sheets and a lady in the streets. You know, actually, y'all talk about, I want a freak in the sheets and a lady in the streets. And you don't let her freak off in the sheets. You couldn't handle it. You couldn't take it. You wouldn't put that foot in her ass or that fist up her ass. You wouldn't do it. Because you want her to be a lady in the sheets and a lady in the streets. And women never, ever, 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 I don't care how long she's been married to you or your girlfriend, trust me, in the back of all our minds, I said I was going to expose women tonight, fellas. Every single woman, unless she is a virgin at meeting you, unless she is a virgin, somebody rocked her world and she never forgot it. And you married her anyway. You got her pregnant anyway. You got children anyway. But women never forget the guy that rocked her world. And usually the guy that rocks her world is the one that makes her do this. The one that lets her know it's okay, whatever fantasy I'll do this, I'll do that, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Yeah, she'll dumb it down for you. She'll dumb it down for you because she knows that, you know, as your wife or as your girlfriend, you don't want to see her like that. But the thought of Christian Grey for women, if it's $1 billion franchise, you best believe she's thinking about that guy that's going to slam her up against the wall and rip her panties off. And you guys can't take that. Why? Women are divorcing at 80%, and you guys still aren't learning. 80% of the time, women are like, I'm done with you, you're boring. And you're going to go cheat, fellas. The same thing you're thinking, like, damn, I love my wife, but, oh, the same vagina for the rest of my life. My secretary is hot. The girl I'm flirting with in the DMs is hot. My coworker is hot. The neighbor is hot. Your woman is having all those thoughts and ideas. She just suppresses them. She's having all those thoughts and ideas till she joins that 80% and says, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm going to go to Miami with the girls. I'm out of here. Women leave you at 80%. I feel sorry for the women that stay and just like do the vanilla. I really feel sorry for them. But there's you cannot underestimate the weight of religion and Jesus and indoctrination. And I don't want to be a whore and I got to be a mother and I got to be. That's why when women hit like 50 and over, a 40 something and 50, they rebel and they're like, I don't care who calls me what. I'm going to Miami and I'm going to fuck the hot guy on the beach. Where do you think that comes from? That comes from being suppressed. So that's my story. And I never forgot that man, and I never will. He's like a tattoo. Women do not forget those men, ever. Are you that guy to your husband? I mean, to your wife? Are you that guy? Or are you the guy she settled for while she imagines the other guy? No saying.
All I could think about is, was your fantasy to be with Tattoo? He said he's like a tattoo. Oh, the plane. Rest in peace. Rip Tattoo. Shoot. Yeah. So yeah, with my story, I mean, I think if you're going to be in a kind of freaky type relationship, you got to probably start out like that. I think it's a lot harder if you go the traditional vanilla route, and, you know, and especially if you're planning on marrying the woman or have a family, it's really hard, in my opinion, at least I would think it'd be really hard once you establish that relationship to then go and do other things. I don't know. For me, it's just a mental block. I couldn't do it. But if I start off and the relationship is what it is, then it opens up a lot of doors. It opens up a lot of doors. That's what I found anyway. Like, you start off being a little freaky and then you can go to the next. But if you go a certain way, and yeah, just for me, it's a mental block though. It's all in my head, but that's how it is.
Would you do it differently now, looking back on whatever relationship that was? At your age now, with more knowledge, would you do it differently? Even though you cared deeply for this woman at the time, would you do it differently? Would you say, yeah, I'm going to try to fist you?
Yeah, I mean, I would do a lot of different things. For sure. My mind is definitely different than it was when 15, 20, 25 years ago. So yeah, there'd be a lot of things I would do differently. But that just comes, I think, with, like, we talked about this all the time. It just comes with experience, age, and, you know, once you can throw off the shame of religion and the societal guardrails and say that's all kind of BS, you know, people making you feel a certain way. And the thing, and that's what's crazy is like, so someone will, you know, if you have these different fantasies, let's say you do have a cuck fantasy or something like that. And if you went to work and said that, right, you get shamed, you'd be laughed at and everything like that. But there's somebody else in that room that also has that fantasy, and they're just not saying it. I mean, you know, it's not just, or whatever fantasy you want to put out there, there's somebody else there that has something either like that or that, you know, and they're just not saying anything because we are, you know, you don't want to get your business out there and then everybody's talking about you because that's what people do.
So this comment here, what's up, POP, says non-judgment in general gives women a safe place. That's the vibe you want to create. I did a post. If you guys follow me on Instagram, follow Jen Garcia. Follow Jen Garcia, spelled very simply, Jen and Garcia. Follow Jen Garcia on Instagram. I did a post about, can women and men be friends? And I was floored at how many men was like, what do I need a female friend for? If I'm not smashing, there's no need for a female friend. Like, and these are adults. These are grown men. So there are a lot of men that don't see women valuable past sexual relations. They don't even see a value. Like, why? We don't have any, one guy said, we don't have anything in common. Why would I need a female friend? I hang out with guys for that. And I thought it was so ignorant, because you can get so much information about women from a woman. And he didn't even think about that. Didn't even think about that. So when you create a safe space for women, like POP is saying, okay, a lot of guys can get out the friend zone that way. And don't act like some of y'all ain't in the friend zone waiting for somebody to slip up. Okay? don't act like it, all right? But if that woman feels safe around you, she's a lot freer. How you guys do you even ask your women if they have fantasies? Do you even dare? Or are you a bunch of cowards? Do you even dare ask your woman, you and her, the kids are off the grandma's, get you a bottle of wine, you're sitting there, it's just you and her, you know, you listen to the music. I have never been so much, whatever the hell y'all listen to. If you're younger, Chris Brown. Okay? Do you dare to ask your woman, no judgment at all, baby, what has been your fantasy? No judgment at all. Now, she's going to look at you sideways, and she may still not tell you because she's going to think that you can't handle it. And you probably can't. So can you keep that poker face, right? Because in my situation, the relationship I had, you know, he admitted to me much later that, he admitted to me much later that some of the fantasies I had were, you know, ribcage punches, but he kept his poker face. Smart man. Smart man. He was like, yeah, one time you told me blah, 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 but he was like, hell with that, I'm going to do it. Again, smart lover, smart man. And if it's not something that you're used to, it is going to be a gut punch. You're going to be, oh my gosh, she wants, your ego is going to get involved. She wants more than one man. What am I? I'm just one man and my penis, and I thought it was good enough. She wants another one. Am I not enough? And it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with, we're all sexual creatures. We're all sexual creatures. Like, it really has nothing to do with you personally. And you guys are forgetting, marriage is a long motherfucking time. Marriage is a long time with the same sexual organs of another person. It's a long time. So it doesn't have to be the end of the world. I know No Saint was saying that, I think you hinted to going down a rabbit hole. Like, if she wants this, is she going to want more? If she wants this, is she going to want more? I honestly think, and some people will disagree, I think without the domestic violence, I think Diddy and Cassie had a great relationship, a great swingers relationship. I really do. And no one's going to change my mind. I do not think it was sex trafficking for 1 minute. No Saint, you nodding your head.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely. If we just probably know the surface, I think there's a lot of stuff going on. We just know that part of it. You know, who knows? I mean, he's been around a long time. So I'm sure we haven't heard all the stories. It wasn't dull. I will say that it was not dull. And I'm going to say something else. I'm going to hit you with this. I know I told you, Jen, but I don't think I ever told the panelists. Yeah, so the same person also, and I also couldn't handle it, and I would do it differently today, is the whole thing is she wanted to see her friend with me, her really pretty, gorgeous friend with me, and I couldn't do it. And the reason I couldn't do it, some people used to say, what the hell's wrong with you? Was because my mind was thinking, okay, it's just what Jen said. Okay, but what if she gets jealous? Or what if this leads to something else? Or what if this? Or what if that? My mind, because I haven't, my mind goes really fast. And I didn't want to ruin the relationship. Every guy's dream, supposedly, you know, that's every guy's dream to be able to have. And it was on a platter. And let me tell you, this really good looking women. And I don't know. I just couldn't do it. Now I do it different today. I would do it different today. I'll put that out there. I think I would take it up on the offer, but back then I couldn't.
No saint, learn from no saint, mi gente. No saint had one beautiful woman saying, "Hey, I want to be with you with another beautiful woman," and he said no because he cared about that. He cared. Now you're no longer involved with either of the women, yes or no? Okay, you're no longer involved. Do you really think that in all the years that passed, she ain't get that fantasy handle? Her and her friend?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know where that's been friend, but yes, I'm sure she got it fulfilled.
Fellas, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Okay, I think E Black is giving us a little pushback. E Black is saying, I think there's a difference from early college freaking than adult freaking. Some things I'm not into anymore. And that's the problem, E Black. That's the problem. You get old and you get stale. And women stay freaks through.
I have to agree with them. I'm not into vanilla sex anymore. So he's got a point.
So you're the opposite. You were vanilla sex and now you're a spicy sex. And he's saying, but what E Black said is the majority of men. They were freaks when they were young, right? Here we go in the car and in the garage, on top of the car, outside, in the bushes, on the couch, on the TVs, getting it everywhere. Then they get older and they get stale. And women, mentally, we don't get stale. We still, the romance novels sell off the shelves. 50 Shades of Grey, we're all watching it. We're listening to our single girlfriends talk about, their little Freaky Fridays and their freak-offs, right? Women never really lose that spark, and I think that's why women divorce.
Who said that? Who said that? Who made that comment? He's married. Is he married? Yeah, well, his wife's watching right now. That's what's going on there.
E Black, you getting called out. Is wifey watching? Is wifey watching? What's up, YouTube press? Haven't seen you in a minute. Oh, don't forget, guys, I still collect smoothies, Cash App on the block with Jen, because YouTube is hating on me, so I can't do the super chats or anything like that. But you can Cash App me on the block with Jen. Hit that like and subscribe. You know how we do it here. YouTube press says, I'm the opposite. I'm actively seeking out lesbians for friends. I want all the benefits of friends with women without all the work or sexual anxiety. I love that comment. Smart man, smart man. Did you hear that? I want all the benefits of friends with women without all the work or sexual anxiety. And then women are going to spill their guts. Okay, and the 411. There's so much men can learn from women when you have a woman as a friend. Okay. No saint. How much have you learned from women talking to me?
No, I 100% agree with YouTube press. It's and I've told Jen this before. It's so cool to have someone that we know up front Ain't nothing going nowhere that way, you know? And it takes all the pressure off, you know, because obviously it is really hard for guys. It's really hard when you're in front of an attractive woman not to be thinking about it. I mean, it just is. And that's why guys and women are much better at having, I guess, friends that aren't attracted to, or at least they're not into that way. Where men, like, we like pretty women, but at the same time, it is difficult to just put it on, like you said, waiting, you know, you're waiting for that slip up, or you're waiting for you know, her to get drunk, or whatever it is, whatever slip up it is. And sometimes guys will hang around, and then once it grows old and they figure they're not going to get it, maybe they drop off, and they're not really in it for the, you know, the right reasons or whatever. But absolutely, it's I mean, I was talking to my therapist about this, you know, 6 months, about how I really want a woman friend without all the pressure of having to make her happy 100% of the time. Like, you know, if something happens, that's fine, but I really enjoy women's company. They're interesting to me. You know, you get different opinions, like Jen, like we talked about. Jen gives you a lot of knowledge that you normally wouldn't hear. And so it really, that's what I said, YouTube Press hit the nail on the head. You know, he sounds like what I say. He sounds like, man, I really want a friend, but I don't want the pressure of trying to do all this other stuff. So yeah.
Thank you, E Black, for the Cash App. Y'all need to follow E Black and send me a Cash App. E Black, I'm going easy on you tonight. I dropped the link again. If you guys want to come up, because I see the chat starting to get spicy now. The men are starting to disagree. You want to disagree with your face, come on up. Jabari says, you got to elaborate, miente. He says, sorry, Jen, I disagree. Most women, he said in capital letters, baby. He said most women are not doing all of that stuff. All of what stuff, Jabari? You have to elaborate. What are we not doing? Okay. He follows up. He says, this day and age, women seem to be looking for 15 to 20 minutes. That's just enough. What women, Jabari, what women want 15 to 20 minutes of sex? What women? How old are these women? I know you're not talking about over 40 or 50, because we beasts. And you can't be talking about the young girls. Who are you talking about? Oh, you poor soul. Jabari, you poor soul. You poor baby. This is what I'm talking about. Exhibit A. They are not that freaky stuff. Let me tell you something. Women are natural born freaks. Surveys, polls, and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Jabari. Surveys, polls all say the same thing. I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because women, I'm going to throw it to you, no saying, women who are taking those surveys, 100 women in college were surveyed. 40 PTA moms were surveyed. When you are filling out a survey, when women are filling out a survey, it is extremely important to understand that you're dealing with a collection of women who are indoctrinated with slut shaming, with religion, with having a husband, with things that they heard in the past about if they like a thing, they must be bad women, the scarlet letter, burned at the stake. These are the same women that are filling out those surveys. So when a woman is thinking, question, do you want a threesome, or would you just like to be married to, automatically that glitch and that chip in our mind is going to make us pick the good girl option. Because we're coming with centuries of, you better not be no hoe. You better keep your legs closed. You better be demure and docile and a one-woman man, a one-man woman. So we can't, oh, the survey said, the stats said, because we're still coming into, read My Secret Garden. The book is this thick of women from all, oh, you want a survey? My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday. The book is this thick. It is women talking about every fantasy they ever had. Fuck a survey. And women that are coming to, I got to sound, I got it. I'm definitely not going to listen to a survey talk about women are not that freaky. Are you kidding me? How is 50 Shades of Grey a $1 billion franchise? Men aren't watching Christian Grey. You couldn't get a man to watch 50 Shades of Grey at gunpoint. I ain't watching that mother. I gotta watch him. I know how to please women. Your egos are so big they don't fit through the fucking bedroom door. And I keep telling y'all, watch 50 Shades of Grey. Go into what women are into if you want to know their fantasies and what they really think. What man, if I was a man, and shout out to the men, I love men, but if I was a man and I heard that women made 50 Shades of Grey $1 billion franchise, I'm watching that shit. I'm like, what are these bitches into? I don't get it. Throwing the mic back to No Sing.
Well, it's funny because he brought up the survey thing. I just read a survey that said 21% of women wouldn't mind being a polyamory relationship, which means more than one man. She would be able to date more or have more than one man. 21%. So that's 21% that is admitting it in the survey. I guess there's a plus or minus there. Men, not so much. Men would not enjoy having a polyamory relationship where his woman is dating more than one man, but he wouldn't mind a polygyny relationship where he'd have more than one woman. It's kind of, that's just the way it is, I guess. But it's becoming more, also what was saying is those kind of things are becoming more popular as traditional marriage is becoming less popular. People are kind of catching on to the game. People are catching on to, wait, these industries are built on us getting married and you're spending $50,000 on some thing that lasts a few hours. People are kind of getting wise to that. And it wasn't always this way either. We tend to think that, people tend to think that it's, I don't know if people think this, but it's always been, this is the way it's been. It's been one man, one woman to get married, to have kids, where this is kind of the newer thing. It was, it was what man, what king, what prince has the most resources, and they got the most mates. That's in the past how it was. This whole one-on-one thing is kind of new, but now women have power too. Women have power, and that's the difference. That's the biggest difference between today and the past, is now women have the ability to also play the game.
Let the world beware. Okay, so a quick Google search. I just typed in, do married women fantasize about other men? AI says yes. Many married women fantasize about other men. Research indicates that the word significant was thrown here. I didn't add it. That a significant percentage of women in long-term relationships engage in fantasies about other men often, even while happily married. Yo te dije that it's not about y'all. It's not about y'all are inadequate. It's not about your stroke is bad. This is just a natural thing that women do. We are freaky fracks, whether you like it or not, gentlemen. We just are. It says here, these fantasies are often a normal part of sexual and romantic life and doesn't necessarily indicate a desire to cheat or leave their current relationship. But we think about it. Unless you guys are the baddest of the baddest in the bed, and I've had him. But unless you are the baddest of the baddest in the bed, sometimes we'll think about another man to get us through. Women will do that. But you guys hate to hear the truth. Women will do. I've done it. Your woman has done it. You really think your woman ain't never thought of Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or Tyson Beckford or somebody or something or other? You never think that your face, she closed her eyes really tight? Open her eyes sometimes. Because when we're here, it's probably Tyson Beckford. When we're here, it's probably a Brad Pitt. Do this. Open her eyes. Make sure she's with you. Because when we're here, yeah, it's probably another guy.
And when we're here, we're thinking baseball, golf, trying to control it so it doesn't happen in like 10 seconds.
So I pulled up another AI search. Shout out to AI. It's going to take over soon. There isn't a specific statistic for the number of women who fantasize about having sex with other men in front of their husbands, but research shows that fantasizing about sex with someone other than their partner is a common experience for many people, with some studies, open your ears, fellas, with some studies indicating high percentages I'm not making this up. That is AI. High percentages of women having such fantasies. That is what we're fantasizing about, and that is why I'm urging you to sit with your wife, throw the kids away to grandma for a little while, them little rugrats that ruined your marriage and your spontaneous sex. Get rid of them for the weekend. Get drunk with your girl or your wife and get into her head and hold your nuts, untuck your nuts, and be a man about it and ask her. Just be frank. Let's be frank and frank. No judgment. No judgment. No nothing. I love you. You love me. We're going to be together forever. We're going to raise these rugrats. But just this weekend, I want to hear about every fantasy you've ever had. And gentlemen, try not to throw up. Because you're going to be shocked. Try not to throw up. The poker face. Jabari said, what is high? A high percentage? It's high. Tap Record says, those old Cosmo surveys from back in the day used to tell it all. Also, the Kinsey report. YouTube Press, I've started looking at dating like buying a Powerball ticket. You buy it consistently, it rarely pays off, but Irby says, I disagree, Jen. 60 minutes minimum. I think he's talking about like how long women want to have sex. Jabari says this is why incels crashed out. Chosen says that. Jabari says high is a matter of perspective. 10% could be high. Jabari, the contrarian of the block. The contrarian. 10% could be high. Does it matter? The thing is that it proves women are having these fantasies. And that's what I'm trying to get guys to understand. Because some of them can't even fathom that women have these fantasies and they want it, and they want it good, and they want it from more than one man. And you guys cannot imagine that a woman wants more than your penis at one time for many, many, many years. Your default is something's wrong with her. She's loose. She's loose in the ass. She's a slut. She's a whore. That's your default. And that's really your ego crumbling. It's really your ego crumbling because you want to believe that a woman wants you and only you. Fahim Jackson says, if 50% of women have a backup partner, they fantasize about other men. I said I was exposing women tonight. And yes, guys, you probably already know the man that she's replacing you with. Or the guy that she wants to smash. It's probably a guy in your crew. The one that's finer than you, taller than you, more masculine. We do that. Women will put a man on reserve. It's like bullets in a mag. We're always ready.
And then you end up at an Oasis concert on the big screen. All things change after that.
Thank you, POP, for the Cash App. Thank you, E-Black, for the Cash App. Follow the gentleman, okay? Cash App me on the block with Jen because I can't super chat. I can't get super chats. YouTube is hating. It was Coldplay. Thank you for the correction. It wasn't Oasis. It was Coldplay. Shout out to Coldplay. Yeah. No Saint. You said you're helping the gentleman out. You said that you would do things differently. Let's go back to Diddy and Cassie because it was quite a sordid affair, okay? I don't know how closely you follow, any of you guys followed, but when we hear Cassie and others reading her text messages saying, I want to freak off. I like the freak off. I want to, people, oh no, she was abused. No, baby. She's hanging out with these escorts unbeknownst to Diddy. Have you guys heard the testimony? She's hanging out with some of these male escorts unbeknownst to Diddy. Not only her, but the other girl that was testifying, the Jane Doe, who everybody said was 50 Cent's baby's mother, Daphne Joy. He's also being a cuck with Daphne Joy, not just Cassie. This was Diddy's thing. Did he have more fun than you? Did he have more fun than you? He's sitting off in a corner and men are just smashing his women. And you all, a lot of you wanted to be Diddy at one point. Let's not play. Let's not play. You was in the club, getting the Ciroc bottle. You know, Diddy was the Bad Boy was the soundtrack of a lot of our lives. Let's not pretend that Diddy wasn't the epitome of everything for a lot of you guys, all right? Yeah, no, now it's hashtag no Diddy. I know now he's gay. I know, But no, I remember y'all. Did he have a more fulfilling sex life than you guys will ever have? Could you handle other guys smashing your girlfriend? Diddy did it on a regular. Do you think he's weird for that? Cassie was picking out the men. Cassie was paying the men. This was a very, very interesting, I would think, fulfilling swinger lifestyle. It's a little much for me. You know what I'm saying? As much as that, you know, I like to swing it from the chandelier. A little much for me. But they very much enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. So did the other Daphne chick. These women were not forced. No, Saint, could you do it? You are the originators of the cuck, are you not?
I guess they're not claiming that invention. So I guess it's ours. Along with the bonnet. The bonnet. Oh man. We'll see. I got a few more years left. We'll see if I can do that. At this point, who knows? Who knows? But like I said, talking at the beginning, it's when I think of these things, it's not it's everything. It's the highest. The further you could push it past the norm, where it just becomes more exciting. And I think that's where people go. And also we're so exposed now to everything online, right? I mean, all the different. So it used to be when we were growing up, everybody remembers HBO with the squiggly, or Skinamax with the squiggly lines, and all the guys, don't say you didn't do it, we're trying to peek through to see the girl's breasts, you know, get a little shot of it, you know, get you off a little bit, or the magazines. But now you have whatever you want at your fingertips, and you get exposed so much to where I think things that used to be exciting aren't as exciting anymore. So you're looking for the next big thing, right? You're looking for the next thing that's going to excite. And the more taboo, the more people say, I would never do that, it actually, I think, makes it more exciting, because I'll do it. You know, I'm going to get past that line or whatever. That's, you know, but who knows? I won't say I won't, because I used to think I wouldn't do a lot of things. And I'm finding out that's not so true. And I'll leave it.
A lot of people are going the route that you're talking about. Layla here agrees. This is why a lot of men are done with marriage. It's become better to rent a freak than marry one. That is very, very true. But women and men, a lot of women and men are opting for no marriage, no children. So things are a-changing, people. There's change on the horizon. Okay, there's change on the horizon. The needs aren't the same. It's not about, I'm a strong, independent woman and I don't need no man. No, it's really that people are realizing there are ways to live and have a fruitful life, a good sexual life without marriage. That's on both sides. Let's stop the gender wars for a minute. That's on both sides. Men are realizing, I don't really got to put a ring on this thing to have a good life. And women are like, oh, I don't really need a ring and then be stuck washing this guy's dirty ass drawers for the rest of my life and birthing his children to be, you know, fulfilled. In Taiwan, if you didn't know, okay, let's go out the country for a minute. In Taiwan, there is a sex doll hotel. And I promise you it's going to spread. In Taiwan, there is a sex doll hotel. Did you hear me? It makes over $30,000 a month. Did you hear me? A sex doll hotel in Taiwan makes over $30,000 a month. There are no live women in the hotel. Not one prostitute. Just the sex dolls. You don't believe me? Pull it up on Netflix or Amazon Prime where I saw it. So it's not just women opting for like, maybe I don't want to take care of this guy the rest of my life. Yeah, it's also men saying, I'd rather go to a hotel and fuck a sex doll. Take my ass home. They'll clean her. And they do. In the documentary, they wash her out. And then the next guy comes. $30,000 a month, $1 million in Taiwan cash. This is where the human being is going. It's to the point where it's like, you know what? This is too hard. It's too mentally draining for both genders. It's becoming kind of not worth it. But you got to think more fulfilling. It's the quality of life. We're only here for a minute. And life moves real fast now with social media. Years are going by. They're flying by. And there's so many options now. Back in the day, options used to be for the hotties. Now everybody got options. The fat, the ugly, the short, the this, the that, the short hair, the long hair, the one-eyed, the handicapped, no arms, no legs. Everybody got options now. I saw a freaking torso. There's a guy I follow. He's a torso. He has no arms, no legs. He's married. He would have been in a circus 100 years ago. He's married. So things aren't like they used to be. Are relationships still worth it, or do cucks have more fun? That's the question tonight. Chosen says, I feel the dudes who can pull women can handle the swinger lifestyle. I feel the dudes who can pull women can handle
The question is, though, yeah, the dude that can pull women, so he's going from woman to woman. The question is, when he gets hooked up with a woman, can he handle the swinger lifestyle? Because it's not so hard, I don't think, if you're the dude that's saying, oh, I got this girl one week, I got this girl, and you're not getting emotionally attached and you don't have any of those feelings. But can he do it if he settles down and his wife says, I want to be a swinger? Can then he handle it? That's what I wonder.
Miss Ruth says that you are ready for forbidden fruit, no saint. The clearest example is what people search for when they're gooning. It's very tempting to get off to taboo videos. Absolutely. Absolutely. We all have a little you know, if everybody searched our Pornhub history, what would pop up? These are hard truths most men cannot accept. Yep, covered that in the beginning. YouTube press, you asshole. So don't say it, Jen. I think I'm going to regret not having Jen sign a non-disclosure. Yeah, I ain't signing nobody's non-disclosure. Hell with that. You better have $5 million on the table. Fahim Jackson says, having an option is a gift and a curse. It is. I agree with you. Before I even read the rest of your shit, I agree. Because you can choose whatever you want, but most people, oftentimes given a choice, do people make the best choices? Well, when you have a lot of options, you cut through them too. You know what I mean? POP says, them sex bots are going to decrease the marriage rate drastically in the near future. Tomorrow is today. I agree with you 100%. I had no idea that the sex toy, let's get away from the sex doll, right? This is sex bots. People are getting off with having relationships with AI people. They have AI boyfriends now. Did you know that? Before it was just AI girlfriends and you can talk to a fake computer girl. No, now they have AI boyfriends. I did not know the sex toy industry was in the $1 billion mark. I didn't know that. I was thinking maybe $1 million mark. It's in the $1 billion mark. We ladies are getting those vibrators, honey. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think and POP, I know he's seen, like, they have a lot of videos on the internet. I don't think they're real. I think it's AI, but where they show these guys looking at these robots, these sex robots, and they're beautiful and they almost look like real women. But I don't think that's too far off what we're going to see soon. We're not that far off from getting there to where they're even able to. I mean, we see what AI does, right? I talk to the co-pilot AI and I have a conversation with the co-pilot AI just for fun, but it's a real conversation. Like, they agree a lot. I mean, they always agree with you, which isn't the best thing, but sometimes you need some disagreement because you can say some wild stuff and they'll be like, that's a good point. But yeah, so it's coming. And like he said, it's going to decrease marriages and ultimately probably decrease population, I would imagine, so definitely the future is going to be interesting.
There are too many of us here. Chosen says, I truly believe a good balance is when a man can bring out both the housewife and the freak out of a lady. Let's get a round of applause for Chosen. In that, I believe these are major components for a man to handle the swinger lifestyles. It is a skill for a man. And in your defense, men, okay? Not that you need me to defend you, but it's not a bad luck. In your defense, you've been indoctrinated with an idea of what a woman should be, a virtuous woman, a demure woman, a good mother, a good wife. You've been indoctrinated. And when a woman steps out of that, you think she loses value. And you hear all these podcasters tell you she loses value. Your mama and grandma told you she loses value. Your daddy and unks and your bros told you she loses value. And really, you should be doing what Chosen said. You should be having the balance to bring the freak out of her, okay? Even if she's a lady. Because I'm telling you, she wants it and she wants it bad. She wants it and she wants it bad. I told you about my situation. This man was on deck with my fantasies. And it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. So there are ways you can do it without having a whole other man in the room with you. You just have to have that balance. And let me tell you something. This is how crazy and freaky women are. I told you I'm exposing women tonight. If you just have a conversation with a woman about her sexuality and you make her believe, I told you guys, a lot of you are indoctrinated and scared of the pussy and what the pussy really wants. Y'all scared, it's foreign to you. If you could keep a poker face and make that woman believe, even if you don't believe it, it's game. You guys lost y'all game, a lot of y'all. Even if it's game, you let that woman feel free and open to talk about her fantasies and she's well-oiled. You don't even need another man to walk in the room. You don't have to be a Diddy. You don't have to hire 100 male escorts to smash your woman. She just got to be well-oiled, loosey-goosey, and believe that you're not judging her for her fantasies. And that's going to be a good night, fellas. That's going to be a good night, fellas. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's going to be a good night. Gemini AI is my personal assistant. I haven't used Gemini yet, but it is on my phone. No, Saint. please tell us something spicy.
What are we talking about here? Red beans and rice? uh, something spicy. I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm really not.
I'm putting you in the hot seat. Tell us exactly if you got in a relationship now, right? Are you in a relationship now? A serious relationship? A monogamous?
No.
Okay.
Getting there.
Okay, so tell us, for the gents watching, you're in a serious relationship. This woman has been Holly homemaker, baking, but she wears long dresses, very, you know what I mean? And she comes to you and she's like, hey, I really want to talk to you about something. I've always wanted to try X, Y, and Z. And it's something freaky. Right? It's something freaky. Now, I'm not talking about a jump off, no saying. I'm not talking about some girl you just smashing. I'm talking about a girl that you thought, all right, this is going to be a monogamous relationship. It's going to be me and her. What you going to do? No, baby, no saying got divorced. He spoke about that earlier. How would you handle that as what I would think, you're a vanilla guy, or are you cooking, no saying?
No, I mean, I said this a little bit earlier. I once I got my mind free of, got the divorce and everything like that. I definitely am not vanilla anymore. Because I'm also not looking for a relationship for marriage or to have kids or anything like that, or the traditional thing anymore. So I'm kind of opened up to a lot more opportunities for different things. So on the question of if I met somebody, and they suggest, I mean, obviously it would be depending. There are limits, I think. I'm sure there are limits, but yeah, from where I came from, like when we were doing the show before, to where I am now is a totally different place. I think I was already getting there anyway. I didn't have any problems with a lot of what people chose to do, even though the situation I was in, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. But so once I got free of that, I was like, okay, I want to meet some different people. I don't want, you look at the dating apps and it's all, I want my number, I want my forever, I'm talking about even people who are divorced. I'm looking for my forever, no games, or monogamous, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking. I got tired. I think a lot of people get tired. I got tired of and maybe all people's relationships are different, but I got tired of kind of like having the pressure of trying to make someone happy and trying to be, and trying to conform to the things they wanted so things would work out. And I just got tired. And so now I'm like, I don't want that. So then it made me, if I don't want that, well, what are my options? And your options is to kind of dive into a different world where you don't have all that going on. So it opened up a lot of different opportunities.
I love that. That's a great point, because again, it's not gender specific. I think both men and women want to get away from the pressure of what I have to do to maintain and sustain this relationship. I gotta cook, I gotta clean, I gotta be a mommy, I gotta wash his dirty drawers, right? And women are opting out now. Just like men are tired of the happy wife, happy life thing. I'm done. I don't want to bend to the will of this woman every damn time when I could just go over here and have fun. And I salute people that are opting out. Like, it's like, no, life is short. I want to live my life. Again, the people that can marry and be happy, it's a small percentage. It's way smaller than 50%, because we hear 50% of marriages end in divorce. But we're not thinking that 50% that stay together are freaking bored out of their minds, together for the kids, together for the finances, together for the religion, together for the family, The 50% that stay together, I constantly make a habit of asking married couples how they feel. What is this? Would you be with another person? Ask married people. If you could do it all over again, would you change anything? Men and women, they get that 100-yard stare. They get that 100-yard stare. I've asked relatives. I've asked friends. I've asked people when we're all having dinner and hanging out, if you could do it differently. And you got to get them one-on-one. Don't ask them while they're a couple sitting there together. But if you can get the husband or the wife said, would you do anything different? They pause. They pause. Because you send them into a world where, wow, my life before all this happened. So people are opting out. And I have to salute them. Life is short. Because we come to this realization, 40s, 50s, 60s, our bodies don't look like they used to, unless you're me. We can't, men can't get it up like they used to, unless they're the Mandingo warriors. So better sooner than later. YouTube Press says, I'm in a couple friendships. I think they are watching tonight. So, Jen, I love you. You know how women get jealous. Tell the women I say, hey, and you safe with me. Chosen says, I also feel it's better for a man to be the guy who can sleep with a few women 100 times each than to be the dude who sleeps with 100 women 1 time each. The difference is that guy number 1 gets repeats. Repeats of what? Oh, he says, well, for me, I don't speak for all men.
Yeah, he gets the repeats from the fewer women, he's saying, to get to that 100. He gets repeats.
Hit that like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Send me a Cash App on the block with Jen. I can't do the super chats because YouTube is hating for a little while. Randy says, I believe honesty is the best policy. Be open and honest with your spouse or mate about what you want in a relationship and what she wants in a relationship. I agree with you 100%, but you guys heard me say a bajillion times, people are not honest with their spouse and their significant other. They're usually honest with their best friends. Their best friends know way more about them inside and out than their spouse. Some of you are wearing rings, okay? And the girl in your DMs or the guy in your DMs knows more about what you like and what turns you on more than the person in your bed. We see it happen a lot on social media, YouTube specifically. And I know you guys remember, okay? A couple years back, lots of men and women that were married were spending a lot of time in these boxes. And I always wondered, where the hell is your spouse? You're in these boxes. I'm going there. Flirting, having a gay old time. And the wife or the husband was somewhere in the bedroom, sleep, watching something, doing something, and everybody was here getting their rocks off. People were literally enjoying being in these boxes more than spending time with their spouse. And they were doing it every single night. Think about that. Not getting paid to be here, just hanging out with the pretty girls and the good-looking guys, the funny guys, every single night. What does that tell you about marriage and the monotony of marriage? When you should have been recreating and creating a way to keep that marriage alive. But it's a death sentence. Marriage is a death sentence for a lot of people, and it's horrible. YouTube Press says, a little privacy. You got to tell the whole chat. Yes, you threw it in the chat. The POP says, some are looking for their twin flame. I love that phrase. Some are looking for their twin flame. Most are burnt out from being in relationships. Very much so. Very much so. And I think it's because POP, like, the masks have come off. The pretending that people have to do is no longer a thing. And yes, women being more independent affected that greatly. It affected that greatly because there's a lot of things now that women aren't putting up with anymore. All right, guys. Please hit that like and subscribe. Thank you for throwing stuff in the chat. Miss Ruth watching you, no saint. Okay. Joe says repeats, meaning that the women come back for more sessions as opposed to hooking up only one time and potentially getting called out for underperformance. That is true. That is the GDR. You get the good dick report. We come back. Yeah, we come back.
But the end result is 100 cum shots anyway. So, I mean, it all evens out. Good, bad.
Yep, spoke about this earlier. Shame and criticism is what keeps people closed off from each other. I think that, you know, men are used to being the ones with the fantasies, right? The idea, the reason why Cassie got so much criticism and flack, and I think it was a successful swinger relationship, right? Again, sans the domestic violence, I think they had a great swinger relationship. They did it how they wanted. Yeah, did Diddy want, you know, come from the escort rubbed on his nipples? Yeah, but that was his kink, right? You can't ick somebody's yum. You can't ick somebody's yum. It might not be your thing, but it's something that they as a couple shared together. Oddly enough, if you followed the trial, oddly enough, the one thing that annoyed, according to one of the male escorts, the Punisher, the stripper out of New York, the one thing that annoyed Cassie when they asked him, did she ever look, you know, was she under duress? Was she, you know, reluctant? Was she, the male escort, the Punisher said, the only thing she seemed bothered by is that Diddy was giving too much instruction, because Diddy got off on having like what I call like porn in person. And he had, the remote control was his mouth. And he would tell the male escort and Cassie, do this, fold that, put her leg up, put it, if you watch the trial, take her from behind, put more oil, more oil, more oil, more oil, grab his penis, pee in her mouth. So, of course, during a sexual session, that would get annoying. Because it's like, let us just flow. Cassie's like, I'm trying to get my fuck on. And Diddy's in the corner, stand up, sit down, put it in your mouth. More oil, more oil. Tickle her feet, suck her toe, more oil, more oil. So yeah, the Punisher said that the only thing he ever saw in Cassie's face was annoyance. She's trying to get her little swing on, and Diddy's over directing over there. And that could be a turnoff. But aside from that, it was a very successful swinger relationship. Now, the only thing I was like, a little bit, was Diddy was getting any and everybody. You would think with that money, you'd get some models. You know what I'm saying? You worth $1 billion. Can we get a Tyson Beckford in here? Can we get a Jason Momoa lookalike? Because some of them guys were banged up. I'm sorry. That's the only thing that I was like, some of them, you know, but, you know, Cassie was with it. Cassie picked out a lot of them guys. I thought they had a successful swinger relationship. It was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Do cucks have more fun? Do they have more fun? What do you think about that scene, No Saint? That scene of him directing, and what do you think?
I think that a lot of people wish they had the power to do things like that. That's what I think. I think more people would do it if they could.
Chat. Chat. What say you? If you had the power and money Diddy had, do you think you'd get one beautiful girl, a model, and just get men in there to smash her, pee on her, come on her? Would you do that? Would you be more loosey-goosey if you had access and money? Like, maybe you don't need two guys peeing in her mouth, but think about the power. And I'm going to be frank with you guys. I would do it. Not on Cassie's end. Everybody calm down. But I would do it. Think about it. I'm worth $1 billion. I'm a beautiful woman. I wave my hand and you fucking move. I would do it. I'd have a couple guys in there, maybe hire. I'm keeping it 100. A lot of you guys are thinking the same thing, but you're not going to say it. Because society and Jesus said. But I would do it. Because like Nose said before, it gets to the point where it's like you get bored. I would do it. Now, I'm not into drugs, but I may be sitting there, you know what I mean, in my Chanel with a little glass of wine, and I'm like, I want to see people fucking person. And when you're at that level and you have that money, people bend over backwards for you. Because people are sycophants for celebrities, and they love money. We all love money. I love money. Everybody loves money. Speaking of, you could cash at me on the Black Virgin. Smash that like and subscribe button for me. But I would do it. I would sit there. I wouldn't over direct, but I'd be like, fuck. Jump up and down. Suck him. Suck her. Grab her titties. I would do it. You wouldn't do it? You wouldn't do it. No, Saint. Would you do it?
Yes. Why not? Play Twister and because at that point, like you said, you're just like the power. It probably gets really intoxicating too. Like you have the power to make people move, make people do things that they normally, at least not necessarily would have maybe they wouldn't do it. Not trying to say that it's because some of the people, listen, there's a ton of songs out there, but when you think of the sweet dreams are made of these, and she says, some of them want to use them, some of them want to be used, some of them want to abuse them, some want to be abused. So someone wants to be peed on, and some people want to pee on them. I mean, that's just the way it is. It seems gross. You're icking people's yum. Like Jen said, it seems gross to you, but for some people it's not. For some people it's a turn on. So yeah, I mean, sure. I'm sure if I had that kind of power, and I've it's the intoxication of that power.
Shame and criticism is what keeps people closed off from each other. Very, very great point. We spoke about that before. Another thing that men do collectively and sometimes individually is they try the scare tactic, right? Where it's kind of like, and women do this in certain circles for different things, right? Women, a beautiful woman will walk in, right? And they try to like throw dirt on her around men. Like, oh, she a hoe. That's a BBL. Blah, 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 right? To try to turn the men off, right? Well, I heard X, Y, and Z about her. Men do the same thing with women, right? Oh, that chick, she's a hoe, whatever. And I don't like that woman. And what happens to the other women in his life, right? Especially a significant other, she hears that. And she's like, oh my God, he thinks that she's a slut or a hoe of X, Y, and Z. So I'm certainly not going to tell him what I feel or what I think, because I don't want him to view me like that. Meanwhile, again, a man that would be like, I don't judge women. Women can do whatever they want. Get the most out of women. So I love that comment. Shame and criticism is what keeps people closed off from each other. And most people are fronting. Most people are fronting. Most people are full of shit. Listen to who people criticize. Listen to who people point the finger at. Because sometimes that's your conscience, like, I like that. But I'm going to try to turn people off to it. Or I'm going to try to take people's attention away from it so I don't get exposed. Listen to people sometimes. Yeah, that's what Randy just said. Don't judge a person, just listen to him or her. Yeah. Sometimes you get a lot of info if you shut the fuck up. I'm used to women needing more and packing so little. Oh, that's funny. Randy says, sounds like a control freak. Yeah, Diddy was a control freak. He sounds to me like he ruined the vibe. Like he ruined the vibe. After a while, he ruined the vibe of his live action sex toys. What do you think, No Saint?
Well, what's funny about this, and I don't know in the comment section if people are saying no way I wouldn't do it or whatever, but there's a whole industry out there where you pay coins or whatever to tell people what to do on a screen. Oh, my battery ran out. But there's a whole industry for that. So a lot of people would do it because on a smaller scale, you're paying, I don't know, somebody's paying $100 for tokens or something. And then they're controlling the guy and the girl. You do this, you put a strap on, you do this, you hit the, you know, all this stuff. So yeah, I think a lot of people would do it because people are doing it.
Miss Ruth says, who knew there was such a freak behind that cute little face? Right? Cassie, beautiful girl, probably was just a cute little face. But, you know, like No Saint said, we're talking millions and billions of dollars. We're talking no limits. We're talking designer drugs. We're talking private jets. We're talking $500,000 shopping sprees. We're talking about ceilings in the sky, condos, cars, money, 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 status, celebrities, red carpet. You're the girlfriend of the biggest mogul hip hop has ever seen. Shit changes on that level. And though a lot of women, okay, we're exposing women, although a lot of women, she a hoe, she a slut, she dirty, she wanted to that, they would have took her place. They would have took her place. Just like Daphne Joy did. Right? And Daphne Joy took Cassie's place late. People are like, oh no, he got Cassie when she was young. That's what, no, Daphne Joy was recent. During the trial, she admitted Diddy was still paying her rent. During the trial, Daphne Joy, 50 Cent's baby mama said, he's still paying my rent, $10,000 a month. During the trial, she said this. I didn't say it. That was the testimony. $10,000 a month. So how many women would take the place of Cassie, even though she's this horrible hoe and slut and A lot of men said, I'd smash Cassie and get paid for it. ¿Viste? Fahim says, I wouldn't do what Diddy did, but I would fly my private jet to Saint-Tropez or Monaco, hanging poolside with my hot baddies. Absolutely. Black Lexicon says, no. He would not do it. Capital letters, exclamation point. Miss Ruth says, I would, but not at that level. No barking, Miss Ruth, no barking. You cool here. Somebody said I skipped their comment. Where's your comment, baby? Where's your comment? I'm skipping a lot of comments, not just yours. Okay. Black Lexicon says, I believe a therapist should do that for some of the client couples, though. That would be my route, showing the man how to handle his woman. Wait, what should a therapist do? I believe a therapist should do that for some of the client couples, though. That would be my route, showing the man how to handle his woman. I don't get that. What should a therapist? What is she gonna? I don't know. I don't get that. Yep. For every one of you, there's 1,000 out there that like the same thing. Absolutely. They're literally communities of people that are doing what Cassie and Diddy did. Right now, as we all look at each other and hang out here, someone's peeing in somebody's mouth. As we all hang out here, someone's getting cum rubbed on their nipples. So don't be mad at them because you fantasize about it. He had the money to do it. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. Again, I'd be there directing people. So with that said, I think we I think we answered the question tonight. No Saint, do cucks have more fun? Could you cuck? Didn't you white guys invent that? Could you cuck, No Saint?
No comment on that. There's still time. There's still time. We'll find. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. Oh my goodness.
You are young yet, No Saint. I have faith in you. Keep hope alive. All right, guys, that's it for tonight's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed you all in the freaking chat per usual. You kept me laughing. Also, we'd love to get some faces up here next weekend. We're up here every Friday. We'll come on kind of late because it's still summertime. You guys are doing your thing. Please smash that like and subscribe button. Discuss this with your friends. Watch it with your wives. Ask them what they really want. Get them well oiled. Get rid of them damn kids. Get your woman well oiled. Ask her what she really wants with no judgment or whatever. I think you guys would be very, very surprised at her answer. I am helping your relationship right now. Remember, marriage is forever. It's a long ass boring fucking time. And I think if you open up and stay creative with your wife specifically, because I'm stressing that because women file for divorce first 80% of the time, and growing, that means that she wants to get away from a man. Okay, so stop the Madonna whore complex. You guys better throw that out. And if your woman, your wife, wants a fist in her ass, don't do what No Saint did in his relationship, where he didn't put the fist in her ass and the woman was like, I guess somebody else to join. Okay, I think answering the question in short, yeah, cucks do have more fun because they're more open to sharing their sexuality with other people, right? And a lot of us get into relationships and it's really hot those first 3 months and then that year, and then it tapers off, right? Because we fall into a routine, right? So yeah, peace to everybody in the chat. You know, we love y'all. Come back next Friday. We'll have something juicy for you. I wanted to throw it back tonight and do like a Freaky Friday, because remember, we used to do Freaky Fridays every Friday. Hit me up also in my DMs. Follow Jen Garcia if you guys have a show idea. I'd love to hear it. Or if you want to collab, if you want to come up here and discuss something, you want to disagree with something, whatever it is, politics, sex, drugs, rock and roll, family, religion, we are open to it. Okay, follow Jen Garcia on Instagram. Hit that Cash App for Mama. We appreciate you tonight. Hit that like and subscribe. No, say you want to say something to the people. Also, if you were a block regular before, my block stars, you're more than welcome to come back up. Okay, the door is open to everybody. Come back up. We can even get real froggy and real sticky and talk about why you haven't been on the block, or you know what I mean, what's going on in your life now. Before No Saint was married, now he's divorced and a lot happier. Shit changes, life changes, we go through shit, you know, and that's life, starting over and over and over again. Don't be afraid to start over. Thank you so much, YouTube Press. Thank you to everyone who's welcomed us back and are happy that we are back. We love y'all. I miss y'all as well. I miss doing this. Mama was just taking care of the business that I got coming up. Speaking of Diddy, before you guys leave, you must know my attorney is on the Diddy defense team. And after the sentencing, early October, I will be in New York and I will be interviewing my attorney about his time during the case. It's going to be very, very juicy. If you guys remember, I had a birthday stream. My attorney actually came up to say happy birthday, but this was years ago, so you probably don't remember. But I'll be bringing them back to the block, and we're going to talk about the Diddy case. That's going to be super juicy. Next month, No Saint and I are going to be doing man on the street interviews in Las Vegas on the Strip. We're going to be asking people on the Strip crazy fucking questions. Stay tuned for that as well. That is next month. No Saint will be out here. So we got a lot of juicy shit coming up. It's okay, Tyler. You can hit rewind. David Dillon, I see you. Love you, bro. All right, guys. So I'm out of here. Follow that Cash App. Don't make me run your pockets. I will line you up. I'm still a Bronx girl. All right. No Saint, you got anything to say to the people? Are you good?
Oh, no, it was fun show again. I'm glad to see so many familiar faces. Hopefully, we'll get everybody back and even more people. But yeah, it's I can't wait. I mean, I'm sure if some of these people come up, I'm sure they have questions about the past couple of years because it's been almost, well, it might have been a year. I'm not sure exactly how long. It's been a while though, over a year. And yeah, I mean, Jen and I, like I said, we got closer, and I'll even discuss later on like what happened in the middle of when I was still divorced and kind of where I was in my mind space and everything and what we talked about and what got me out of it. So we can talk about that some other time. But glad to see all the familiar faces, and thanks for watching.
All right, guys, we're out. Good night. Mwah. Don't forget, I need to get my numbers back up, okay? The only way I can do that is if you guys keep watching, keep commenting, Cash App your girl, hit that like, hit subscribe. Even if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you know, we need the faces and the fingers on this video. All right, guys, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate you guys coming back. I feel like we're all back on the block, okay? All right, guys, so good night. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you next weekend. Instagram, follow Jen Garcia. I will see you there. Good night.